Hello VC, it's me again, KI Flex, with a hi-fi update. So today I wanted to do a short video, short review, very short explanation of the Pioneer PL-512 belt-driven turntable. It was released in 1978 and it ran a production line between 1978 and 1985. It came in probably three colors actually. It came in standard silver, gray. It came in the 512X, which is black, and it came in the 512D, which we didn't get here in North America, which was a sort of red rose, I think, a veneer. It was a wood veneer, but those were only shipped in Europe and Japan. But this one was traditionally gray, the gray vinyl, which was took off. And you know me, I love to do work on these things now. So it was stripped, sanded, and painted in a beautiful white lacquer. I'm not too sure if you guys can get a shot of the lacquer. Took a couple of here in the window you can see the reflection, nice and smooth. Took about 2 weeks because it's still not even properly dry. I think I could have given probably about a week again to dry and sand, and it would probably even get a better shine. But you can see the reflection, you can see the shine. Pretty smooth lacquer, clean. So this one was stripped down as well. It was stripped down to bare bones. Everything came off. Yeah, everything came off. The tone arm, everything was polished. Everything was adjusted and lubed and cleaned. With what needed to be cleaned was cleaned. What needed to be replaced, so I replaced the feet, the rubber feet. The belt, the drive belt was replaced for a brand new belt. This particular logo, these tables, they did not come with Pioneer's logo. There was only one logo, and it's on the dust cover. But I bought directly from Japan. I bought a couple of these new modern Pioneer logos. So I bought directly from Pioneer. I bought a set of those. So I put them on every table that I work on. This is the stainless steel platter, 300 mils. That was polished along with the tone arm. This is an autophone head shell and cat that I had for about a year. Brand new, never used. But it's a DJ catch. It's actually it's a Pro, an S Pro. But I'll tell you guys about that a little later in the video. That was a pleasant surprise, my God. I can't say it was completely a surprise. So this is a typically 2-speed belt-driven turntable from Pioneer, 1978. There's speed 33 and 45. It's a manual turntable, but it does have a couple of unique features for a turntable basically built in the 70s and is no longer in production. It does have some unique and pretty cool features, to be honest. Now what is most important basically is the way the turntable sounds. And I must say, this table sounds awesome. It's dead quiet. Specifications for this table is pretty much comparable to any modern day contemporary table. For example, you can take in consideration the Project Debut Carbon, the Music Hall 2.2 LE, even the Clear Audio concept turntable. Any entry level modern turntable of today, this is honestly comparable to. Yes, I will have to say. When it comes to build quality, this particular table is built on Pioneer's plinth. This plinth is about an inch and a half thick of high density fiberboard. It's made out of high density fiberboard. Some call it chipboard, some call it foam board, but it's pretty dense and it does a pretty good job um, of keeping resonance away from the tone arm board. And this particular tone arm board that Pioneer used here is typical of most of the early 70s, late 70s tone arm boards. So it's pretty good. So I got it in, as I said, about 2 weeks ago. It took me a while, about 2 days, to actually get it stripped down and clean, and then I started the restoration process. So polish the the dust cover as much as I can get it. After I replace the feet with better feet, better damping feet. These particular feet, I'm not too sure if you guys can get a shot of it. These particular feet I use on all my tables. They're pretty good, and they do a pretty good job of keeping that table nice and tight to any surface. Also, it does a very good job of resisting vibrations, and it dampens out any vibration, any noise. You can see the motor housing there, also the center spindle, you can see it protruding there. But the table itself, for a table that was built in the 70s, in the late 70s, it was way ahead of its time. It sounds tremendous. The motor is very, very, very stable. The wow and flutter, I think, on this particular table is 0.010, I think, which is very good, comparable again to high-end tables. Plus and minus when it comes to speed, again, is up there, is 0. I think 3 something, I could be wrong, but it's very comparable. This particular table, surprisingly, the Pioneer engineers did an awesome job. And for the money, you literally cannot beat these tables, surprisingly. And it's only when I began to work on them I actually saw the amount of engineering that went into these tables. If, for example, to be honest, I'm not too sure of the exact figure, but let's say you wanted to engineer this particular table in this particular era, 2015-16. This particular entry-level table will sell for at least no cheaper than $1,200, because a lot of engineering went into this. And surprisingly, Pioneer in the early 70s was able to sell these tables for around, I think, $100, $200 back in 1978, pretty much, you know. And the table is very good, I must say, very good. It's dead quiet. Dead quiet, is dead accurate. For example, let's say you want to run an LP. There's a micro switch that turns the motor on. That's the only bit of noise or bit of actuation you will hear. That's the only bit of actuation you will hear, is when you actually you drop a record on, you remove the armrest clamp, and you move the arm to the on position. That's the only time you're gonna hear any noise on this tune. In fact, the only thing that you're gonna hear, besides beautiful music that is coming from your vinyl, at the very beginning, when you turn, you will hear the micro switch comes on to turn the motor on, and that's it. The motor is very well constructed. It's constructed on a sub platter. The motor is constructed as a 4-pole motor that is constructed on a separate motor chassis at the bottom here, which is attached to the plinth, but the motor itself is isolated on a sub platter. They on a substructure. A substructure. This motor is isolated on its own substructure, and then the engineers did another, I don't know, great job of isolating the motor from its very own substructure with rubber gaps and washers. And I took it down, I looked at that thing. It's wow, it's engineering for today that they did back in the 1970s, you know. It's belt driven again, so very accurate when it comes to speed. There is a anti-skate adjustment from 0 to 4 based on your cartridge, and obviously your counterweight. The bearing on this particular arm is very good. In fact, all those arms from the 512 all the way to the 518, those anti-static arms, the S-shaped tone arms, and the bearing that Pioneer used, my God, is awesome. And surprisingly, they were able to manufacture, design, and sell these tables for a very reasonably price, in 1978. Well, that, as I said again, if we were to engineer a turntable with this particular specification in today's market, you're looking at thousands of dollars. Yeah. So when it comes to the engineering that went into this thing, is absolutely high end, and we would probably call this entry level back in the day, but it's actually high end. It very well thought of, very well balanced. Now there are some things that they had to cheat on, to be honest. The original legs for these, I understand why the engineers, it were crummy legs, and if you were living in a hot area, trust me, they will disintegrate. And a lot of folks find these turntables sometimes in yard sales and garage sales and Salvation Army sales. This one came off of eBay, and obviously sometimes the legs are gone, disintegrated, which is understandable. They didn't put much, again, tried to save some money. The engineers didn't put much quality into the legs of the table, but you can literally upgrade that by simply putting on some modern legs, you know. But again, if you're in the market, let's say you have probably a turntable, you may not have a modern turntable, or you want to go up in quality, in sound quality. So let me give you guys some advice. If you want to save some money, get on eBay, get to a thrift store, and take your time and look for a well-kept Pioneer PL 512 all the way up to around 518. The 518 steps up the direct drive. This is belt driven. The 518 is an excellent table as well. I had one. It receives great reviews and raves. Even today, it's a commodity. To get your hands on a good 518 is. I am so sorry that I sold my own. And my own sold, the minute I put it up, it was sold. A guy in Russia bought that. I shipped that to Russia, and I regretted it so much. But nevertheless, here I am back with a 512. And I must say, guys, if let's say you want a turntable, you want to upgrade, you want a turntable, and you're considering, let's say, the debut carbon, you're considering the Music Hall 2.2 LE, you're even considering the clear audio, or let's say you're considering something like within that entry level status, what else they got out there besides those couples? Or even the essential, the carbon, the project essential. Listen, get to a thrift store, or get to a Salvation Army store, or on eBay, and look, depending on the condition, look, it doesn't have to be literally broken down or destroyed. Just look for a good one. You can pick them up for pennies on the dollar, and all you got to do, in fact, if you can't do the restoration yourself, there are guys that are doing the restoration for a very reasonable cost, to be honest with you. But these tables, trust me, they won't. A next couple of years, they will be collectors items. Get them now. They are wonderful. I can't say much more, man. As I said, and I am comparing this to contemporary tables, modern tables. And yes, I can compare them because I've owned modern tables. And trust me, this thing, my God, not only will it give those tables that I just mentioned a run for their money, it will beat their asses off, man. I'm telling you. It will beat the ass off of a Music Hall 2.2 LE, a Project Carbon debut Carbon, even a Clear Audio Concept. This will beat the ass off of it. I'm telling you guys. Trust me, I've heard all of them. In fact, they were here. So if you pair this up with a good cartridge, oh my God, that's it. Now, when it comes to cartridges, let me give you guys, let me tell you guys about a little surprise that I got. Now, this is not the head shell that came with this is not the head shell that came with the Pioneer. I put this head shell on. I actually bought a couple of these, and I donated one to a member of the VC. Brand new donated one. She's a very nice girl, so I gave her one. So I kept one, and I had a couple of cartridges there. Now this is an Autophon. You guys know from my previous videos, I really like Autophon. I like the sound of Autophon. I like the tuning, and I like the technology that Autophon puts into their carts. So I'm a big fan of Autophon. So I bought this cart actually in a package. It comes with two. It's an OM cartridge. It's an OM cart, and it's particularly designed for DJs. I'm not too sure if you guys can see that there. It's a Pro OM, and the stylus is a Pro S or S Pro. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now, why I was pleasantly surprised. As I said, I bought this not exactly knowing what it was, and I bought it. Came home brand new. I still have the packaging there, and I put it away. I just put it away. I never used it. And as I said before, if you look in my first preview, my very first introduction to the vinyl, I had a Pioneer PL 518 here, and I bought an Autophon 2M Red, and then I bought a blue cart. And so I have that Autophon sound in my head. I love it a lot, like it a lot. There's a lot of write-ups about the Autophon. They sound good. But this surprised me in that one day I decided, after with the first table, the first restoration table that I had, the PL 112, which was the 112, man, and I was cleaning out my music closet. I actually have a music closet where I store all my music, literally records. Because what happened, I hate clutter. So if you guys can take a look, this is my code closet, right? But I store all my hundreds of CDs. I store my CDs there. You can't even see them. I hope you guys can see all my CDs and records are all stored away, so you can't see my collection of records. And all my audio gear, my spear gear, everything goes in boxes and closets over here. So what happened, I put that away. I bought it, put it away, and forgot about it. And I was doing some cleaning, and I found it. So I decided, let me try this cartridge. It's a DJ cartridge. Probably wouldn't sound that good. Let me try this cartridge. And oh my God, I was blown away by the performance of this card. Now, guys will say, but that's a DJ cartridge. Yeah, but it has audiophile potential, man. You track this thing. They say the recommend tracking force for between 3 grams to I think 5 grams or something like that. It's pretty heavy, yeah. And it's a elliptical. It's designed basically for a lot of scratching and stuff like that. It's very durable, right? It's a DJ cartridge. But man, listen, this thing blew me away. I put the thing on and I decided I would not track it at the recommended tracking force. I will go a little lighter. And I tracked it at 3.5 grams. So that's basically where I tracked it at. I tracked it at 3.5 grams. Now, after setting it up and setting everything up, wow, I dropped the needle and right away, I was blown away. This cartridge started to sing. One of me, I started to hear some nuances and voices and background vocals and cymbals and wow, thing that I've never heard before. And you will say, but this is a DJ cartridge. You will say, Stephen, well, Stephen, that's a DJ cartridge. That ain't no audiophile cartridge. Yeah, man, trust me. You track that thing at 3.5 grams, it will make your final shine. You will swear that's a blue. In fact, it sounds better than a blue in my ear. Now, this is my experience. That Audiophone OM Pro S cartridge tracking at 3.5 grams is heaven to me. I don't know about anybody else's experience. I'm telling you about my experience on my system. That thing is awesome. In fact, all I'm listening to right now is vinyl. So I set it up. I have a protractor where I set my angles correctly. All right, and my head shell overhang, and I have a gram scale in which basically I do all my tracking force alignments. I picked this up pretty cheap. Alright, so this is where basically I do most of my alignment with a gram scale and a protractor. So, wow. Anyway, I think I've been talking too long and rambling too long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So this is that was the Pioneer PL512. Man, it's an awesome table, and the cartridge is the Audiophone OM. It's a DJ cartridge. Is the Pro S. Wow, what a combination! Surprisingly, sometimes you just find combinations that work, and this one worked for me. So if you guys are looking for an upgrade, if you guys want a better sound, if you don't have probably a higher end table, look into a Pioneer vintage table. It's very reliable, very simple design. A lot of engineering went into it, and simple is really better. It doesn't have a lot of moving mass. It doesn't have a lot of parts, which is actually better. But it sounds amazing. It's dead quiet, and with the right cartridge, wow! Trust me, you will believe. You'll become a believer. I did. I became a believer. So hope you guys enjoyed this video of the Pioneer, the vintage Pioneer 512. Alright, talk to you guys again with another video. Holla, VC.